Star Wars Visions is a new limited series. I don't know if this is going to keep going after this, but I'm just going to call it a new limited series on Disney Plus, which was given to several different anime studios to make a certain short film, all of which run between 13 minutes and 22 minutes. And there were only 9 episodes of this, so I got around to watching them all, and I should probably go over my overall thoughts first, then get into it episode by episode. But total thoughts, it was okay. It was fine. I'm not an anime fan. I'm not. I don't like anime. I think it's really dumb. I don't watch it. I don't associate myself with it because I don't care. So I wasn't really looking forward to this. I thought the trailer looked okay, but other than that, there wasn't really anything to hype me up for it. At least not something like Bad Batch, where I was hyped up for it because I had seen these characters in the Clone Wars, and I actually liked the characters in the Clone Wars, so I was excited to see where everything was going, and the fact that it was taking place between when the Empire was rising was a really great idea. So that had me hyped up for that show, even if it was just kind of mediocre. I didn't really have much to hype me up for this, because I don't like anime already, so that's already a problem. And Star Wars has been kind of going downhill recently. And I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. The sequel trilogies were a disaster. The anthology films got canceled after Solo bombed. Their TV shows are kind of stuck in a dead end because Bad Batch was okay at best, and The Mandalorian hasn't been great. I know everybody loves The Mandalorian. I know I gave it a pretty high score when I reviewed Season 2, but upon reflection and rewatching the episodes, there were a lot of episodes I did not like in The Mandalorian, so that was just, again, it's just kind of okay. So now we have this, which is not canon, by the way. The show's not canon. None of these stories take place in the timeline, so I don't really know what the point is, but whatever. Yeah, don't you miss the days where they could write all these anthology stuff and all this expanded universe, and all of it could be canon because there was always a workaround for it? Yeah, me too. I miss those days. I like the original expanded universe. I read a lot of those books. I own a lot of those books, and I was a really big fan of that one. So it was kind of stupid that they got rid of it, but that's not the problem. So now we have this, and first of all, every episode always has something wrong with it. All of them. And one of the things that is wrong in almost every episode is the lightsaber. No, I know what you're thinking. What are you talking about? There's a lightsaber in literally every episode. First of all, that's kind of a problem right there, because yeah, I know Jedi are like the most important thing in the Star Wars universe, but even some of these don't base their stories around Jedi, and they still force a lightsaber in They still force a lightsaber in there somehow, especially in Episode 8. There is no connection to the Jedi whatsoever, except one mention of it just to shove a lightsaber in at the last second. And not only that, almost every episode has a lightsaber in the form of a katana. That's not what lightsabers are. First of all, and once again, I'm not telling you anything you don't already know, lightsabers don't need scabbards. They don't, because they deactivate on their own. That was the point of deactivating them, so they didn't need a scabbard. And also, if you didn't turn it off, just put in a scabbard, it'd overheat. But they do turn it off. I hear the sound effect, but it's still got a scabbard for some reason. At first, I thought it was to disguise the lightsaber in the first episode during the village, because at first I didn't mind it. I'm like, okay, it's different. I can give it a pass here. And it's like he's trying to hide it with like a scabbard, because maybe he's just disguising it as a regular sword. That's fine. But then almost every other episode does this as well. Even, there are some ones that they also get wrong. Like, in episode 6, there's an Inquisitor, and that's pretty cool. But what lightsaber do the Inquisitors have? Yeah, they have the one that spins, the one with the handle inside and that has the roundabout and the double blades that spin around. I will say that using it as a helicopter in Rebels Season 2, that should not be possible. Physics still exists in Star Wars, and light will not be a propeller. It won't. Because those lightsabers made of pure energy. If it was regular sword that was spinning like that, I could let it go, but it doesn't work that way. But I'm getting off topic. What do they have in this one? Just a generic, lightsaber-looking thing. Great. And that's and that leads into some of the other designs. The other designs look pretty cool here. Like I saw they had a different design for a TIE fighter for the Inquisitor in that same episode, and it looked pretty cool. I like the animation for the most part with one of these. I really like the first one where it was really rough and scratchy, and it was all in black and white except for the lightsaber blades. That was pretty cool. But it seems like some of these didn't really have much of an identity to separate it from the others. I think my favorite animated episode, as far as the best animated, oh man, that'd be hard to tell. Maybe either episode 3 or 5, maybe? I don't know. But it seems like all of them just kind of look the same, and they're all from different studios. And some of these studios I actually know of. Like, I know episode 3 was done by Studio Trigger, and I've heard of that studio. And something else I want to bring up is the voice cast. They got some impressive voice actors for some of these. I didn't even recognize most of these until I saw the end credits and I saw English voice cast, and I saw some of the others. I'm like, really? I went back and I heard, I'm like, yeah, how did I miss that? Like, episode 3 has Neil Patrick Harris? I had to go back and check, and I'm like, yeah. And then episode 7 has David Harbour and Jordan Fisher, were two actors who I've seen in multiple things, and they were the Jedi and they were the Jedi and Apprentice in that episode, and I didn't even notice. Joseph Gordon-Levitt was the main character in episode 2, and I didn't even notice. So it was impressive the voice cast they got for a lot of these episodes. And so now I'm going to go into them episode by episode, because that's the only way I can talk about story-wise. Because a lot of these don't really have much of a story to them, because there isn't much character development, because these are all short films. You're not going to get a long drag about characters and their backstory. You'll get a little bit every once. You'll maybe get a little bit of it, but that's it. So episode 1 is The Duel. This one was a pretty good start to it. Like I said, I like the rough animation to it, where it was all scratchy and all in black and white. Though again, I forgot to mention when it came to the lightsabers, the stupidest part of this episode was that goddamn umbrella lightsaber. That was the dumbest thing I've ever seen in a Star Wars movie, or in a show. That was ridiculous. But the rest of it was surprisingly pretty cool. It had a good lightsaber duel to it. Pretty much all of these is a lightsaber duel, so, except for episode 2, maybe. So I'll get into the lightsaber duels as I talk. So the lightsaber duel was pretty cool here. I like the action. I like that this episode treats stormtroopers with respect, because Disney has been going out of their way to make stormtroopers look like fucking idiots. It started in The Force Awakens, continued in Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, started to bleed into Rebels a bit. I mean, they did fun. I mean, Rebels has a lot of comedy to it because it's an animated show, and it's mostly aimed at kids. Unlike something like Clone Wars, where it could go to everybody, even though it was still a kid's show. So I give Rebels a bit of a pass on it, and it's not like they did it as many times as possible. Every once in a while, yeah, stormtroopers still can't shoot, but that's because our heroes are covered in plot armor. So it's the same thing happened in the original trilogy, so I can give Rebels a pass. But then you have The Mandalorian, which has done nothing but shit on stormtroopers the entire time by making them, I don't know, get killed off screen while people argue, just like falling off like idiots, crashing their own speeder bikes, and not even like getting shot and then crashing, or like what Luke does where he cuts the thing in half and he spins out. No, they just, like idiots, they're going downhill and they just kind of crash into each other, into other rocks, and and then the one in the Boba Fett episode, the guy in the blaster cannon, there's a giant boulder coming toward him, doesn't move, he just continues to shoot it. Fucking idiot. I'm getting off topic here. So yeah, this was a decent start. I'm not going to be able to talk much about these because, again, the longest one is 22 minutes, so I'm not going to have much to say on these. Episode 2, Tatooine Rhapsody. This episode was dumb. It was about a band who needed to get one of their members back from Jabba the Hutt after being kidnapped by Boba Fett. That's it. This was tied for the shortest episode, and I can see why. This was a pretty dumb episode, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I get wanting to explore a smaller part of the galaxy, like a little rock band. That's fine. They had plenty of bands in Star Wars, but you had to throw in Jabba the Hutt and Boba Fett. They did get Tamora Morrison back as Boba Fett here for all of 3 lines, which I thought was actually pretty cool, though. But yeah, that's really all I have to say. This was just a dumb episode. It left no impression on me. It was just kind of dumb. Although I will say the lead singer is apparently a Jedi who, I guess, just abandoned the Order. I don't know. I don't know if this takes place, if that was like during the Jedi Purge, but he was being chased by battle droids. So my guess is that their lead singer was a Jedi who deserted the Jedi Order. And that should have had him being hunted down to start with, but whatever. I'm done with that episode. Episode 3, The Twins. This brings up another problem I have with this show, is that these creators don't know how a lot of this stuff works. They know very little about how the Force works. They don't know how lightsabers work. I already mentioned the katana bullshit, but they especially don't understand how kyber crystals work. And that comes back into play in episode 5. They don't understand how kyber crystals work. You can't tamper with kyber crystal, at least not without some kind of like really strong connection to the Force. And even then, I don't even think you can, but make it one that can make a lightsaber so large that it can cut a Star Destroyer in half. Bullshit. They would have been using that shit constantly in the universe. Look, I know this isn't canon. I already mentioned this isn't canon. But you still have to abide by the rules of the galaxy. And this is nearly universe breaking. This is like the same thing happened in Last Jedi with the stupid hyperspace bullshit. So, but overall, I like the idea of like two children raised by the dark side. One trying to abandon the dark side, and the other one strictly abiding by it, like being convinced that they're doing the right thing. Like, that's an interesting idea, and I thought the fight was pretty cool. And yeah, that's about it. Like, the visuals were cool, even if they made no sense within the universe. But yeah, and also a lot of these kind of tease like a sequel. What? Like this one does, episode 5 does, episode 8 does. It's like, why? Are they planning to make a sequel to every single one of these? Is that going to be season 2, or it's just a sequel to all 9 of these episodes? Great. Episode 4, The Village Bride. This one I have the least to say about, because I don't remember much from this episode, but I remember it being okay. That's literally it. That's all I have to say about episode 4. I don't remember it much. I don't remember it. That's all I got. Episode 5, The Ninth Jedi. This one was actually really cool. Again, they have no idea how kyber crystals work. You can't tamper with kyber crystals to make it like, oh, it reflects the person's connection to the Force. What? But again, I do like the idea. Okay, so he called out a beacon to some of the last of the Jedi. The Jedi were killed by the Sith, and the Sith went in their place, disguised as Jedi. That was a really cool idea, and only one of them was a real Jedi. And this episode also strengthens and weakens the Mary Sue argument we all make about Rey, because there's one Padawan named Ethan who's never had a master. Same thing with Rey, but Rey immediately can kick everyone's ass in a lightsaber fight. Just can, because she has plot armor. She's Mary Sue. But Ethan gets his ass kicked in this lightsaber fight at the end. He doesn't do shit in this fight because he has no training. That's great. But then there's this little girl who, I think she might have like some experience with the lightsaber, but it is clearly shown and even said that her connection to the Force is still pretty flimsy because she hasn't had much training. So you're contradicting yourself with these two characters. But again, all of these are like based around one big fight. So I'm basically reviewing action sequences here. And this one was a really cool lightsaber battle, especially when it had the older Jedi come in and kill all of them. That was pretty badass. And I do like that the Jedi are pretty ruthless when it comes to the Sith. They don't spare them, they kill them. And I thought that's actually pretty interesting. Episode 6, TOB1. This episode was stupid. It's about a cybernetic kid who wants to be a Jedi, discovers his master, who doesn't have arms, which I didn't even notice at first, is a Jedi. He's hunted by an Inquisitor, and he kills the Inquisitor. How? I don't know. Apparently this robot, I would call him a droid, but is he mostly cybernetic but part human? Because droids cannot have a connection to the Force. Again, it shows they have no idea how the Force works. Even the Inquisitor comments on this. A droid became a Jedi, apparently doesn't abide by the rules of this universe, but apparently we're destroying whatever the hell we want at the wall and see what doesn't stick. That's all I got for episode 6. Episode 7 is The Elder. This one follows a Padawan and his master going to some planet after they feel disturbance in the Force, which comes from a very powerful Force user who is neither a Sith nor a Jedi and has more of those stupid katanas. And it's not even like light katanas, like, oh, it has a blade and then a light on the end. No, the same sound effect, same design as a lightsaber, just as a katana. It's stupid. And they go to this planet, and one thing I will say is that a Master and Apprentice really reminded me of Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon. Even down to the lightsaber colors being the same. The only difference is the Apprentice is black and not British in this. That's the only difference. Qui-Gon even kind of looked... The guy even kind of looked like Qui-Gon. He had the green lightsaber. The Apprentice kind of acted like how I could see young Obi-Wan acting. It's kind of like that. But, again, the episode was pretty decent overall. I think the fight was kind of lame. Because, he's this all-powerful being, and even though he's old, he was still able to kick this kid's ass. So you'd think it would have been at least a little bit of a challenge, but it seemed like the Master had no challenge. Like he just killed him in just a few swings of his lightsaber. It was kind of lame how he went out, but I do like this kind of delves into the Master and Apprentice bond, kind of what Phantom Menace did, where it shows a lot of the Master and the Apprentice like interacting off of one another while going on a diplomatic mission or like a peaceful mission or whatever. So again, I thought this one was fine. Episode 8, Lop and Ocho. This episode was terrible. This was so stupid. It was... Okay, so it starts off a father and his daughter basically adopt this rabbit-looking person. She looks like a giant rabbit. That's all it is. And then the father and daughter end up on opposing sides as the daughter wants the Empire to help them, while the father wants the Empire to get the hell out of their planet. And okay, this is conflicting ideologies. This is one of the basics you get for a confrontation, especially among close people, is differing ideologies. Something that made Captain America Civil War so damn good. But here, his daughter goes from, we should get the Empire to help us, to, I'm going to kill you if that's what it takes to get my way, 5-10 minutes later. I'm being serious. It's like she has no regard for not killing them at all. She will kill them if that's what it takes. And I can understand that, but it was such at the drop of a hat. It's like there was no build-up to this. Okay, they're differing on what they should do. Do they try to figure out the best solution? Do they try to find a middle ground here? Do they try to understand one another? No, they don't. The daughter just goes immediately to trying to murder them later on. And the father doesn't. He doesn't want to fight anybody. He doesn't want to kill anybody. He just wants the Empire to get the fuck off his land. So it went downhill, and I'll say I like family dynamic stories, but this one was so, even for the limited amount of time they had, this episode was 20 minutes, which was the second longest. Not only did it feel like it, but none of these people really seem to click with each other. They don't feel like a family, even because there's a 7-year time jump within 3 minutes. And again, this is a short film, but I just feel like I had no connection with anybody, and I feel like, and everything was just blown out of proportion, especially with the daughter's, like, how she acted. It was off-putting. That's how I can put it. And again, they shove a lightsaber in just for the hell of it, and it's really stupid. This episode sucked. Finally, episode 9, Akakiri. I think that's how you say it. Where a Jedi goes off to a planet, finds his... Apparently, according to the synopsis, it says forbidden love. I don't think they ever say that in the episode. It's similar to Anakin and Padme, but they don't say it, I don't think. If they did, I missed it, because I guess I zoned out at the portion. I don't think I zoned out during this episode, though. And then, one thing it does bring in that is interesting is that, similar to Anakin Skywalker, he turns to the dark side to save his girlfriend, whatever she is. But there's always a workaround here. You could take the power you need to heal her and then kill the person who turned you. I was expecting him to do that too. I was expecting him to heal her, and then bam, lightsaber. Simple workaround. It's called deceit. But no, he turns to the dark side. It's quicker transition than Anakin Skywalker, and that's saying a lot. It's just the drop of a hat. And again, it's just like, I don't have a connection to any of these characters, so I don't care. I don't care what's happening. I don't care who's on whose side. And there's these stupid people that are like traveling with them, because I guess they're their guides. They're annoying as hell. So yeah, that's all the episodes. Like I said, I didn't have much to say about these episodes. Now it's time to rank them. Last place is episode 8, Lop and Ocho. This episode sucked. This was just absolutely terrible. In 8th place is episode 6, TOB1. Again, utter contrivancy and utter bullshit is the best way to describe this episode. Episode 7, Tatooine Rhapsody. Boring and dumb. That's, again, best way to describe it. Episode 6, Akakiri. I just said what I had to say about this episode. It was, again, horribly contrived. I didn't care what was going on. And the ending was interesting, but again, it was way too quick of a transition. There we go. I couldn't snap my fingers. Episode 5, The Village Bride. I didn't know where to put this one. I just kind of, like, again, I couldn't remember a damn thing. I could barely remember a damn thing about this episode, so I just threw it in the middle. I remember it being okay. Episode 4, The Duel. I already talked about all of these, but like I said, I liked the animation for this one. I liked the fight, and I liked how they portrayed stormtroopers here. They actually portrayed them as competent. But that stupid Umbrella lightsaber, those damn katana lightsabers, and it's just, I couldn't stand some of that stuff. Episode number 3 is episode 3, The Twins. This was, again, it was a cool episode and had a really nice spectacle to it. But again, it had such universe-breaking garbage in it when it came to the kyber crystals, and the same thing will come up to an episode in a bit, that I couldn't take any of it seriously, and it was so dumb. You cannot cut a Star Destroyer in half with a big-ass lightsaber. It's not how it works. Episode 2, The Elder. Again, I like how it showed the master and apprentice dynamic, but again, the fight was so lame. And all of these episodes build up to a fight, so if the fight's lame, it kind of defeats the purpose of the entire episode. And then in first place is the Ninth Jedi. Again, the action for this one was actually really cool, and I like the idea of someone building lightsabers for Jedi, like them trying to reestablish the Jedi Order, and the Sith killing the Jedi and going in their place to be disguised to track down these other Jedi. It was a really cool idea, but again, it's the tampering with the kyber crystals is what dragged this episode down, because it's utter bullshit. It's not how kyber crystals work. But yeah, so overall, the show was okay, I guess. Again, I'm not an anime fan, so that kind of depleted it already, but honestly, if you like Star Wars, I can probably recommend it, I guess. If you like the sequel trilogy, you'll probably like this. If you like the prequel trilogy, you'll probably like this. If you like the original trilogy and not the other films, I'd say skip it. I mean that. But yeah, that's all I got for Star Wars Visions. 2.7 out of 5. This was alright. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to hit the like button down below. Subscribe for more movies and TV reviews like this. And what was your favorite episode of Visions? Are you even going to watch Visions? And if you did you like it? Did you hate it? What was your favorite episode? What was your least favorite episode? Just let me know in the comments. So yeah, that's all I got for Visions, and now I have other movies to review. Other Netflix movies. Yay.